Hello and welcome to my first video blog entry. Last night I led my workshop, Baby Proofing Your Marriage, and I feel really inspired to share with you just a couple tips and information that I gave the couples who attended my workshop last night. When we become parents together, the stress of bringing home a baby it just has more impact on us than we could ever prepare for, that we could ever imagine. And so nurturing the connection between us and our partner is so imperative to be resilient during the stress of the transition, whether it's your first child or your second child or your fourth child. And so one of the main things that I want to suggest to you, whether you're parents or not, really, is that in your relationships with your loved ones, that you use your words with the intention of connecting. So, what we typically do is we use our words with the intention of controlling, or maybe even blaming, or maybe even judging. And so when we get really intentional about the language that we use, we are able to deepen the connection that we have with our partner in a way that we really want. I've been thinking just so much lately about how people get married. It's like they found their person, right? I found my person and I'm going to marry my person and I'm going to be with my person forever. And we're going to be in a relationship forever. And then they're married. And maybe they actually don't know what it means to be in relationship, to be relating in an authentic, transparent, open way where we're curious about our partner and we're emotionally open with our partner so that they can see what's happening inside of us, which creates emotional intimacy. Maybe that when we decide that we want to get married, we have all of these ideas about what it looks like to be in relationship. Like we will buy a house together and we'll have dinners together and we'll both contribute to our financial situation or not. One person will contribute. We have these ideas about what these external things look like. We'll make love maybe once, 3 times a week, hopefully. But the words that we use are so powerful. They can bring us closer together or they can push us further apart. And so, a few things to think about in terms of using your words to cultivate connection rather than control is using I statements. So, this is something that we talk a lot about in psychology. If you've ever seen a therapist and you've ever generalized about something, your therapist might have suggested to you to use I statements and own that this is yours. And this is true in our relationships. So, for example, if if I have a story about my partner that is something to the effect of he never cleans up. He expects me to do it. That's my story of blame versus my experience of truth, which is I feel overwhelmed with the tasks of upholding our household, and I have a story that says that you expect me to carry the weight of that. Is that true for you? So these are two very different ways of expressing the very same thing. One is blame. You never clean up. You expect me to do it, which invites defenses and separation, versus I feel overwhelmed with the tasks of our household. And I have this story that you expect me to carry that weight. I'm wondering if that's true for you. So the second one, I'm still owning that, like, I'm doing everything here, but I'm communicating in a way that allows for this open connection where you can see inside of me, I'm overwhelmed and I have a story about what's happening here between us. And then I'm checking that story out. Is that true? And maybe it is, and maybe it's not, but it's the beginning of a conversation versus the projection of my reality onto somebody else. This can go so far. Another way, let's say that I want to ask my partner to take the trash out. And, as a woman, I often hear other women not want to nag. They're afraid to ask for their partner to do this thing because they don't want to be a nag. And so there is a way of asking my partner to take out the trash that would be nagging. Take out the trash. You never take out the trash. Remember to take out the trash, right? And like continue to remind my partner to take out the trash versus, I'm noticing that the trash is full and I'm wondering if you're willing to take that task on. It's an invitation. It's owning my experience again. Like I'm noticing that this is happening and I'm wondering if you would do it. So this is me communicating and staying in relationship versus trying to control the outcome. So the trick here is that maybe my partner wants to. Maybe he or she doesn't. I can't control that. All I can control is that I reveal what's happening with me, my emotions, my story, my desire. I could get to communicate that with my partner in a clean way. And then how my partner receives that is up to him or her. Okay? So this can be hard because remembering that the communication, that the purpose of it is for connection, that it's not for control, is like a whole new way of thinking about communicating. I often say to couples, when we're fighting about the dishes, it's not about the dishes. And what I mean by that is if we're hyper focused on this thing that isn't happening, like I'm trying to control you and get you to pull your weight around here, it's because I don't feel connected to you. It's because I feel like you're not being a responsive partner to me. And this is another thing that I talked about last night. When a woman has a baby, her chances of developing postpartum depression or anxiety greatly decrease when she has a responsive partner. And so what does it mean to be a responsive partner? To be a responsive partner means to be attuned to our sweetheart, to remember that this person is the love of our life, and that when he or she is suffering in anger and sadness and frustration, and disempowerment and fear and anxiety, when our partner is suffering, we attune to that and we offer ourselves as a support because we're in this together. This is a healthy couple bubble. So one way that I teach this is by using the sentence stems, you seem, ... I'm wondering if you need, ... So you seem overwhelmed. I'm wondering if you need support from me is a wonderful way to stay in connection when our partner is triggered. And I really believe that being loved in our trigger, like having our partner be responsive and loving and kind when we feel triggered, is so unbelievably healing. That is what we all long for. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. You seem interested. I'm wondering if you'd be willing to tune into my next video blog. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. And I can always add another video blog as a follow-up to this one. So much love.